The Senate passing a stopgap funding measure to keep the lights on for the federal government until mid-February after a group of GOP senators threatened to withhold their support in exchange for a vote to repeal President Biden's federal vaccine mandate. Kansas Senator Roger Marshall is one of 4 physicians in the Senate and led the charge on the Republican effort. He joins us now. Senator, good to see you. So you and Senators Lee and Cruz were going to withhold support from the spending bill unless you got a vote on a measure to repeal funding for the vaccine mandates. That measure failed. You still voted against the spending bill. Why?
Well, John, look, this has always been about jobs. Your lead in, the same thing. You were talking about jobs. You were talking about the economy, right? So this federal vaccine mandate would have shut down jobs. It would have cost Kansas 400,000 jobs. It would have cost Nevada 400, maybe 500,000 jobs. You go on to Arizona. There's 1 million jobs in Arizona, almost 2 million jobs in Arizona that could have cost us. So I think that's what was at stake. Meanwhile, the government is spending too much money, feeding inflation. Short-term gaps just never seem to work in this situation.
So Mitch McConnell yesterday morning, speaking on Fox News, ruled out the idea of a shutdown unless there was a repeal of the vaccine mandate funding. Several Republican senators were absent from that vote yesterday, so this effort was doomed from the start. Should Mitch McConnell have gotten behind you and supported you on this?
Well, I do feel like the leader gave us the support that we needed to get this vote. I think what we showed people yesterday is that Republicans are willing to vote for hardworking Americans. We're going to fight to protect jobs. We're going to fight to protect our God-given constitutional rights. We showed America that we could all stick together, that we feel that these vaccine mandates are wrong, they're unconstitutional, and we're going to keep fighting them.
So this morning in an appearance on MSNBC, the White House press secretary Jen Psaki was very critical of your efforts, saying they amount to being anti-vaccine. Listen to what she said.
We saw a group of Republicans just tried to shut the government down because they don't think people should have to get vaccinated or get tested. I mean, that's bananas and crazy, but we'll leave that over here.
Now, Senator, time and time again, the point has been made by people who are against these vaccine mandates that being against a mandate is not being against the vaccine. What do you say?
Well, John, I appreciate you bringing this up. Look, I'm a physician. I've had the vaccine. My parents have had the vaccine. I encourage everyone to get the vaccine. And really, I have a big push for my parents to get their boosters, people that are at risk, senior citizens, people that have underlying medical conditions, folks that may be a little bit heavy ought to get the booster as well. But this is still America. We still have certain God-given constitutional rights. And despite all of our efforts to educate people, to encourage them to get the vaccines, 20–30% of Americans are just not going to do it, certainly not if they're getting it shoved down their throat. I encourage those people to go talk to their doctor, talk to their pharmacist, but we can't shut the economy down. And that's exactly what this federal vaccine mandate would do, is shut the economy down. It would cause brownouts, disrupt supply chains, increased inflation, and threaten national security.
Hey, Senator, one last quick question and answer, if I could, for you. So the vaccine mandate is tied up in the courts. Do you believe that the courts will take care of this, or are you concerned that the courts could come back with some rulings that would reinstate these mandates?
Well, look, I'm very encouraged what the courts have done thus far. I do think that they'll find them unconstitutional, but it's the timing of it, right? Meanwhile, let's give those employers some certainty. Let's give employees certainty that they're going to have a job after Christmas. The White House keeps pushing it back, as you can tell. But meanwhile, we got a job to do in Congress. The courts have their job to do as well. Let's give folks some certainty over the Christmas and Hanukkah holidays as well.
We should also point out that you're trying to get a vote on an amendment to the National Defense Authorization Act that would grant an honorable discharge to anyone in the military who does not take this vaccine and gets kicked out of the military. Senator Roger Marshall of the great state of Kansas, good to be with you. Have a good weekend. Thank you.
Thanks, John.